Completely Pro has been approved for pro wrestling fans by the creators of the Angle Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Angle Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Joey Karni, and today's guest is simply put the man of the hour. He's not just a professional wrestler, but he's more than that. He's an artist with a new EP titled Not Found 2 that'll be dropping on June 24th. Please welcome Lio Rush. How are you? And welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, man, for that intro. That was awesome. But thank you for having me. I'm super excited to talk to you and talk about everything what I got going on.
And again, I appreciate your time and a lot of things happening in the world of professional wrestling, but really a lot of things happening for you at the moment. But first off, happy belated Father's Day. I know I hope you had a great day with your family and everything you have going on. So I hope that was a great day.
No, yeah, that was amazing. I just, relaxed, spent some time with my boys and, my dogs. And
of course.
It was a relaxing day. So I had a lot of fun.
And you're juggling a lot. I mean, you have your family, you have wrestling, things going on with the injury, all your new music, all things that you're really passionate about. Has this mindset always been something that you've always had? Have you always been a go-getter and overachiever?
Yeah, I've always been like that, man. Ever since I was a little kid, I was involved in sports since I was 5 years old. I come from a military family, so discipline is huge, and staying the course. So, I've always been this way and super, self-motivated and hungry and driven and believing in myself, believing in my abilities, pushing myself to my absolute limit, and not just for me, but for my kids, for my wife, for family members and close relatives, everybody that believes in me. That's what I've been doing it for. Ever since I was a teenager and not being in the best of circumstances.
Did I lose you?
Hustler, my whole life. So,
God, I lost you for a second there. I think it's frozen. Let's see. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can hear you.
Good. Yeah, it was frozen there for a second. Sorry about that. Yeah. So you've really made your ranks through professional wrestling, going everywhere, and really doing whatever you wanted in professional wrestling. A specific point that I want to talk about, you signed to WWE and you made your rounds through, 205 Live, NXT, and Raw. Being paired with Bobby Lashley was obviously a highlight of your time on the main roster. And it was entertaining. Being a natural talker, was there any learning curve towards being put as sort of say the manager role with your time on the main roster?
Yeah, well, I definitely want to. I heard what you said about being like a natural talker. And funny thing is, I was never really like a natural talker. I feel like for people that have, followed me like heavily, like on the independent scene, and they've seen some of my promos, I've never been really the person talked about as being, Leo's so good on the mic or so good at his promos and stuff like that. Creatively, I feel like good with vignettes, but once I got to WWE, that was something that I had to work on, and that was something that a lot of people weren't really mentioning, but I took it upon myself to really hone in and get my pro skills and doing social media, and promos and just random videos. So definitely think I worked my way up to being the talker that I am today, which is really cool. And I'm, honored to be considered or looked at in the light as a natural talker. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, my time during that time period was really challenging, but special because I gained that ability through essentially being thrown to the wolves. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and during that time with Bobby Lashley on Raw, was there any specific direction that they had going for the both of you? Was there some sort of payoff in a sense that they were looking for with the two of you?
Not from what I remember. I remember things just kind of happening week by week and figuring it out. You know, me and Bobby didn't really know what we were doing or where it was going or leading to. But I feel like we definitely had each other in that situation and in that moment, and you know, figuring things out ourselves. And again, with being proactive with social media skits and promos for social media to kind of, you know, get some feedback from the audience and the fans and see what they wanted to see out of the pairing. Because I don't even think me and Bobby knew. And I don't think a lot of the writers knew either. They were just kind of testing the waters. But lucky for us, you know, it stuck. And it was something that a lot of people, you know, highly enjoyed at the end, towards the end of.
Yeah, and I'm sure you get this a lot in regards to Lashley. He obviously went on to create the Hurt Business. Is that something that you would have been interested in being a part of if you were still there?
That looked fun. That looked really fun. You know, I've never been a part of like a huge, you know, mass like stable like that. I never really thought about being a part of one either. But when I was looking at that, and maybe just because of my relationship with Bobby, and then seeing Cedric, you know, Cedric being on 205 and me and Cedric doing some numbers on 205 at a certain point, and growing up watching Shelton Benjamin and growing up watching MVP. It was really cool. It was a pretty nostalgic kind of like group for me personally. So I definitely think I could have, you know, excelled in that group, and it would have been cool and fun. So yeah.
Yeah, and eventually they gave you, you know, the refresh, going to NXT, becoming the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, and really taking the brand by storm when you went back there. And like I said, you were always able to like just adapt to the different spots and different, you know, wherever you were put on the show. Do you have anything that you most appreciate about your time with WWE?
I think just the learning experience in general. I think the journey itself was I'm super appreciative of. You know, even if it didn't go exactly how I wanted it to go, or didn't pan out, you know, how I thought it would. I think just that learning experience as a businessman and as, you know, a young man being involved in like a big corporation like that, I feel like it was some tools that I needed to have currently to be the person that I am today. So I'm super grateful for my time there and everything that I've learned, and because you know, you can't learn unless you make mistakes, and I made a lot of mistakes there, and I also found myself, you know, as an individual there. You know, standing as, you know, an independent, you know, artist, an independent, you know, contractor, and being my own businessman in my own right. I definitely feel like it forced me to kind of stand up for myself a little bit and respect myself as an artist and you know, as a worker. So yeah.
Yeah, and you then went on to, you know, shock the world and debut with AEW, being paired, you know, with Dante Martin and building the tag team there, and there was stuff going on with the Team Taz storyline. Was there any specific direction that was going while you were with AEW?
No. It was you know, I feel like it was a similar situation when I was with Bobby. You know, just kind of, you know, winging things and seeing how it played out, because I think in both situations it was a character or a gimmick thrown on me that I wouldn't have originally chosen myself.
Yeah.
And I had to work with that. I had to adapt and and kind of figure out where I wanted the character to go, because there weren't a lot of pointers on what the character was supposed to be in the end. So yeah, there was some similarities there, and yeah, it was just figuring things out and trying to enjoy the ride as it was happening.
Of course. Yeah. And if I'm able to ask, where do you stand now with AEW? And is there any chance that you could possibly, return down the line at some point?
I don't know, but I think I said this in another interview. I think the door isn't closed on my end, at least, and I want to put the emphasis on my end, because there is no bad blood with the company, from what I know and understand. Like I said, I don't know how they feel on that end, and I'm not looking to know how they feel on that end, because I have my own things going on, and I'm continuing to work. So
of course,
yeah, I can see it, and I'm not saying that I can see it, within a year's time or 2 years time or 3 years time, but you never know what will happen and how things play out. So I always like to keep things open and continue to do what I do.
Yeah. And this summer specifically, I know a lot of fans were preparing for, a great summer of wrestling, and we got slammed with a lot of big injuries, yourself included, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, all, big names here, being sidelined for a long period of time. If you can, being that you are injured and you have been injured before, what's the mindset of being injured so suddenly? And then, because it's not something that you plan for, it's not something you really can prepare for. When it all happens, what's the mindset of, what's next?
When I went through my first injury, I didn't really know what was next for me, and I think that was when a lot of people saw, reports of me wanting to retire and step away from the business. That was going through a time period in my life where I needed to put some priorities straight and in order, and wrestling just wasn't there for me, at the time. But with my second injury, it was I think since it was so close to my first injury, I went into immediate, like, oh no, like, not again. And being more angry than confused, and then quickly realized, okay, Lio, you've been through this before, so you know what to do. Now it's just time to get to work. Yeah, I had to calm myself down a little bit and realize that I truly believe that everything is for a reason and for a purpose, and I see it now. I see it. If I didn't get hurt, I wouldn't have been able to put as much time into my music as I'm doing right now, and I wouldn't have, been able to really focus and lock in on that, and handle other things that I have to handle, in my day to day. But my time will come. I definitely miss being in the ring, but it's something that I'm not willing to wait for. I'm in for the journey and for the process, and the process right now is rehab, and I'm not trying to rush that. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I'm ready, I'm ready. And when it is time to go full force, that's what I'm gonna do.
And I remember reading, the emotional statement you put out last year about, looking to retire after the first injury, and ultimately retracting the statement, coming back to professional wrestling. What was the thing that switched or changed for you to say, you know what, I am going to go back?
I think you start to see, some similar stories within, the entertainment industry or the sports world, where family men, coming back to being that light for their kids, or to experience certain things while their kids are getting older. And I feel like me coming back, it was for my family. It was for the ride and the journey that I wanted to take them on, and to continue to build my brand. Because I was also around a time when I was trying to separate music and wrestling, and coming to the realization that, it's all the same. My fan base, or the people that are, true fans of me, they're fans of me. They're not fans of just my wrestling, or fans of just my music, or just fans of, seeing me on, a reality TV show, or whatever they've seen me on. I think people that enjoy me and are fans of me are truly do enjoy everything that I do. So just putting all of that into perspective, growing, learning as a young, mid 20-year-old man with, kids. I'm still figuring it out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have all the answers. I know a lot of people see that, I do so many things, or I have all of these responsibilities, and they think, that I have it all figured out. But, the truth of the matter is I don't. And I think about certain things, and I'm allowed to change my mind. It's not illegal. I'm not going to get locked up for changing my mind. But yeah, I'm at a I'm at a time in my life right now where things are just making a little bit more sense. I have more clarity on who I am as a person and what I want to accomplish out of life, and for my family, and yeah. It's all positive and good energy over here. So
Yeah.
I am ready to get back in that ring when the time comes.
Yeah. And through, all of your ups and downs of the last couple of years, all the injuries, you were able to create some amazing music. I mean, Not Found One, that was just fantastic, but I'm going to jump into that in a little while. You were able to use music to cope, during the injuries, and during, even when the release from WWE, all that stuff, just dive into the music. Was that able to really help in a lot of ways? Because I know a lot of other people don't have those outside passions from wrestling. So when these things happen, they're kind of lost and their hands are in the air. You had that outside passion of music. How did that really change the mindset, getting ready to come back?
Yeah, I think it helps so much, because like you said, putting that energy and that focus into something else. I feel like when I'm so locked in with wrestling, I'm focused on, things that are happening in the ring. I'm focused on protecting the other person. I'm focused on, building great relationships within the industry. I'm focused on being safe. I'm focused on my promos. I'm focused on what I want my entrance to look like. I'm focused on what my entrance music sounds like and how that makes the crowd react. There's so many little things that that I think about, maybe, and I'm sure it's very similar to what a lot of wrestlers think about, that fans don't necessarily think about that's on our plate. So I feel like a lot of the personal things going on within our lives outside of wrestling doesn't have that much attention showed on it. So for me, to have that outlet with music, I'm taking everything what's in my brain and kind of putting pen to paper and putting my thoughts on a track. And I feel like that's a very therapeutic thing for me, and a very important thing, because if my mental is fucked up, then my wrestling is going to be fucked up too. So it's super important to me, and I'm glad that I have that outlet, and I'm glad that I can turn something that I truly do love into a career, and to share that career with my fans, and having them come up with me and being right there with me on a mental level. They're not just seeing everything, the flips and the glory, and the lights and the cameras and stuff like that. I feel like it's a good deep personal connection to have with. So I think it's cool. The wrestling helps the music, and the music helps the wrestling.
Yeah. And, looking at the injury now, it was almost like the universe telling you, you need a break from wrestling, take a dive into this thing because there is much success to be made there for you. And I think, now we're seeing that come out. So like you said, the injury gave you that time to focus on the music. So almost like a blessing in disguise in a way.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. And now that Not Found One has been out, like I said, it was fantastic. It's music that you can like bump in the car, in the gym, at home, at the club, everywhere. It's that type of feel from the music. And you claimed, for it to be something that we're going to get that's the real Lio in a sense. What can we expect from Not Found 2 in terms of that?
I think more. I think, more is better. So I think you're going to see more, me showing my vulnerability and opening up to my fans, and being honest and real about, things that I go through in my day to day, and who I am as a person, and what I set my goals to. And yeah, I think there are some similarities with Not Found 1 and Not Found 2, but I think the biggest difference is the fact that the stakes are higher. I feel like this is my first project that I'm putting out with my label Thump and Virgin Music and Universal Records. So it means a lot to me. I feel like I put a lot of myself into this project. I think you're gonna hear the passion that I have for what it is that I do. Yeah. So I'm truly looking forward to having people listen to Not Found 2.
And to kind of touch on what you just said, which was being signed to Universal Records and things like that. What was that like, being able to have that opportunity and get signed to a label?
It was really cool. I mean, it was so quick and unexpected, really. But I'm super grateful that they saw something in me that made them want to work with me on a long-term basis. So I'm super excited to be a part of that. What comes from that, I don't know. I've been spending the last 3 years putting out music independently and seeing the outcome and the effects from that. And now, this time with having like a team of people around me and a platform and a machine, pushing my music, helping me, get the music into people's ears. Yeah. I'm excited to see, the effects with having a team behind me. So, yeah.
Now, Not Found 2, obviously, I think you said before or in another interview, it's going to be 5 tracks.
Yeah.
So an extension of the first, and together it's, the Not Found album in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And is there a track on this EP that to you is the most near and dear, where it's either, your favorite song, or it's the most vulnerable you've been, or is there one track on this EP that you're like, that's the one?
I do. It'll be the single for the whole EP. It's titled Hard to Explain. And you're gonna hear a lot of what I was mentioning, of finding out who I was, as a person, certain things that I deal with on a day-to-day, on a mental level. We're dealing with my anxiety and depression, and just growing as like a man and as a human being. So it's a pretty inspirational project in itself. So it's going to be good vibes all throughout the EP, and but with the same kind of feel as Not Found 1. I feel like if people like Not Found 1, they're definitely going to like Not Found 2 for sure.
No, I'm excited to hear it, and I know all the fans are excited to hear it because Not Found 1, I mean, like I told you, fantastic, all different types of feels in a way. You know, there's that slower tempo, there's that higher tempo, and it's just an EP where you can hear in anything you're doing throughout your day, like I said, the gym or at home or in the car. It's just that music that's just generally great all around. So I'm excited to hear it.
Really
I know a lot
appreciate
of fans are.
Definitely.
And I know you mentioned on Twitter the word tour, but there's no really anything planned right now. What can we expect to hear more about that?
Yeah, hopefully within the next few weeks, I'll be able to, dish out some dates. I know that I do have a performance coming up in Montreal later on this month. So I'm looking forward to that. That being my first performance. I'm gonna put up some details up on my social media platforms pretty soon about that. So I'll be coming to Canada. Hopefully, I'll be making a little bit more trips out and out in Canada. I love Canada. Yeah, expect some dates to come in the future. Even if that's, opening up for some of your favorite artists, the possibilities are definitely there. So, if you want to find, any and all updates on that, continue to check on my social media accounts. I am Lio Rush, or you can go to my website, liorush.com, and you can find, any and everything about my music and everything related to Not Found 2.
And to sum up Not Found 2 for all, your fans listening and watching, what's the one message you could tell them that what to, at least to expect from this project?
You can expect me to be as real and the most authentic me possible. It's a understatement with me saying, this is me. This is truly something that I'm passionate about, something that I love, something that I put, my all into majority of my days. So yeah, thank you for supporting my journey. It's been 3 years now, and I never thought that it would take me to where it is now, and I know that it's going to continue to grow from here on out. So thank you for being a part of the journey. Thank you for listening to my music and supporting me as a father, as a husband, and just as an overall person that wants to succeed and see others succeed. So yeah, Not Found 2 on June 24th.
And one final wrestling question for you. I know that there's a pay-per-view coming up, Forbidden Door. It's AEW's crossover with New Japan. You being with New Japan, is there any chance that we can see you involved in some capacity? I know you were doing some commentary last month or so. So any expectation to see you?
Well, I'd ruin the fun if I told you that. I think always when it comes to the name Lio Rush, always expect the unexpected. I definitely will leave you on that note, because I feel like that's why my fans like me. They never know what I'm going to do next, and
yeah,
I like creating a show. So buckle up.
And we were talking about everything that's going on, how the last couple of years have been a roller coaster, and after everything, we're sitting here talking about what's next and all the great things you have coming up. So how are you feeling mentally about, everything, wrestling, everything? How are you feeling just in general?
I feel great. I mean, I feel really good. I feel confident in the path that I'm on now, and where I'm at mentally with everything, dealing with my injury as well as I have been. I think I'm in a pretty, positive space with that, and just accepting the fact that this is a process that needs to happen. And, when knowing that when I do get back in the ring, I will be healed and I'll be 100%. So that's great in itself. And, feeling confident about my music and hoping that does good. And, but yeah, I feel great. Anxiety is through the roof. I'm excited. I'm super excited for what's to come.
And where can all the fans listening and watching go follow you, go find more about Not Found 2, and just stay up to date with everything you have going on?
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, head on over to LioRush.com to find any and all updates on everything related to the project Not Found 2. And follow me on my social media platforms at I am Lio Rush. That's on Instagram and Twitter. My Cameo is back up and running. So if anybody wants a personal video message from yours truly, that's I am Lio Rush as well. And if you want to see some shorts, some vignettes, some highlights, some music videos, everything video related, head on over to my YouTube account, which you can find everything dope on there too. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Last year you had DM me to let me know of news that you were dropping, I believe it was a vignette, so I can cover it. And I know other people were doing the same thing. And I thought, what a good, genuine guy, to give an opportunity to other people to promote his stuff. And honestly, I was extremely appreciative of that. And also for your time today, to talk and let me know what's going on, and all the fans listening and watching, to let them know what's going on. You're a genuine dude, and, thanks for everything you do for pro wrestling, but more so of being a role model, for standing up for what you believe in and pushing through tough situations and being vulnerable and opening up with that, in whether it's wrestling or music. It is really inspiring, to witness that. So thanks again. And I would love to do this sometime again.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for having me on. And I'd love to be a guest on here again. I appreciate it.
And for everybody listening and watching, Not Found 2, available June 24th. And I know we're all excited to listen to it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leo. And like I said, we'll do this again sometime, and you have a good one.
Take care. Yes, sir.
And before you go, please like, subscribe, and check out more wrestling content right here on the Angle Podcast.